Hi everybody, Lisa over at iRepair Devices, and today on my workbench I'll be working on this Sony Mega Storage 300 disc CD player. It is modeled CDP-CX355, so it's a 300 series. Customer indicated that it's not working, and when I mean not working, they say when they plug it in, power it on, it's just making like a humming noise. And I've worked on several dozens of these, and I pretty much know what the problem is right off the bat, but I've never done a video on it. So normally with that humming sound, always lends or tends to be a belt. Now this thing is driven by 3 different belts, and could it be something else? Yes, but definitely it can always be something else. But first I always start with the belt, and then if the belt doesn't fix it, then we'll go to the next step. But normally either the belt is dry rotted or it gets stretched out and falls off of the gears. So first what I'm going to do is just plug it in and power it on so we can hear exactly what the customer heard. So it's plugged in, it's in standby, so I'm going to hit the power button. I heard the clicking of the relay in the back by the power supply, and as you can hear, you hear that grinding. Or actually, it doesn't, not so much of a grinding, maybe that's a wrong description. It's a motor trying to rotate the the spindle. So let me power it off and unplug it. Safety first. There we go. So I already removed the screws from the housing. There's 2 on top, and then a total of 4 on the sides, 2 on each side. And then all we need to do, I need to turn this, all I need to do is just lift up and then straight up. And comes right off. And this is what the inside looks like. Pretty open. This is the area where all your CDs would be lined up. And what happens is when you first put your CD in the front here, in the one slot or whatever slot you decide, it's going to rotate and it's going to be fed into over here. And then these 2 arms down here are going to pull it into the mechanism itself, the optical lens, and then it's going to play. And then back here we have the power supply and the audio board. Now, this does not have speakers inside, so normally you would hook it up to a receiver and then output it to, and then that receiver would output it to speaker. So when I do test it, I'm just plugging my speakers directly into here, and it's going to sound very faint in sound, but that's not my concern. My concern, am I getting audio? That's all I'm concerned about. So I'll try to do my best so you can hear it, but if you don't, you're gonna have to trust me on it. But so let's get started here. So now the belts that I'm talking about, one sits under here, under the spindle, and then 2 sit in the back here. And I'm gonna turn this around. Now I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see when I replace them because they are in a tight spot, so I will try my best so you can see it on camera. But so I need to remove a few of the screws on the back here. Like that. Alright, and then gotta disconnect the ribbon cable up on top, and then this gray cable. And now you don't want to pull the back too far away because it's still connected. And since I've worked on several of these in the past, I know what my limitation is on moving it out of the way. But as you could see, or maybe you can or cannot, I could see the 2 belts are popped off. So let me try to bring you down in here. And I'm going to point them out with my plastic spudgie here. The first one sits right here. Okay, and we got the small pulley here, and then it goes towards the front. So, and here is the one. Let me pull it off. The one belt. Let's just break it. Oh my goodness, this thing is not. It's definitely not dry rotted. It is stretched out. Look at that. Holy crap. Okay, now the second one. Again, here's my plastic spudgy. And I'm going to come in from the top, but he is sitting right here. He gets fixed to this small spindle right here, and then he goes off to the left, and he's off as well. So let's just get the belt. I get my tweezers in here. I can grab a hold of it a lot easier. Just work it around the two gears, and this one is definitely not dry rotted, but it is stretched. I can tell just by pulling on it a little bit. Look at that one. That is, I mean, you could tell that they lost their elasticity on it. I mean, that's not even, look at that. It's just, blah, 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 blah. And I'll show you what new belts look like. The ones on the top here. Oh, let's get this in better viewing for you. There we go. The two on the top right here are new ones, and then these are the ones I pulled from the unit. So as you could see, that they just lost their, like I said, they're just stretched out. And here, like I said, I could stretch them, pull on them, and they go right back to shape. And it is common for these to happen. So take these two bad ones out of the way, put them off to the side. So now I'm going to go ahead and replace the two belts. Now, I don't know how much you're going to see. I'm going to try and keep my arm out of the way, but I need to get in there. So I will, Bella, relax. Got my 3 dogs. You want to see my dogs? My dogs right here. Got my 3 dogs. Hi, say hi, girls. You're on camera. Bella is the black one. Brandy is right there, and Bailey's right behind Bella. Those are my babies. They follow me wherever I go. So let's get back and get the first belt on. So I'm going to do the one that's the hardest. So let's get, and when you're putting on these belts, you want to make sure that they go on straight and not twisted, because when they start spinning around the gears, they actually can pop off if they're twisted. So you want to make sure that they go on straight. So, and I said I apologize if my arm is going to be in the way, but this is the best way I can do this. So this is going to be the one that's the difficult one to get to. So let's wrap him around the big spindle first. Get him in the groove. And at the same time, these gears are lubed with grease, and you definitely don't want to get any on the belt because it will slip as it spins. So the trick is getting it on without having it touch anything around, as I just did. See? Got some goop on there. So right underneath there sits some sprocket gears, and they're all lubed up. And don't want to get any on there. So let's get this wiped off. This is the hardest one to get on. It's a pain in the ass. But just take your time. Alright, let's try this again. Remove some of the excess grease. Alright. He's in. So now let's get some tension on it and bring it to the front. The smaller gear. And while I'm fishing it over to the front there, I'm going to start rotating it so it starts grabbing on to the small gear, and it'll work its way into position. So let's just bring it down, start spinning the gear. Doesn't matter which way you rotate, as long as it starts spinning, the band will grab on. There we go. Okay. And it's in place. I'm gonna rotate it, and I can see the bottom gears are spinning, so I know it's in place. And let's get my plastic spudgy, and right here is where it's in, the small little gear, and then it goes off to the left onto this guy. So he is on and straight. Now this one over here you may be able to see, so what I'll do is I'll kind of bring the camera up a little bit, and we'll start with, I can feed them from the front because we have the front, we have the gear in the front here, right here, this guy, and then he goes to the back. So let's just start. I always like to start putting them on the wide gears first. It's a lot easier. Again, you want to keep it straight. You don't want to twist the belt. Feed it over. Get it into the grooves. It's going to fall into the groove. I need my tweezers. All right. You don't want to rush. All right, so he's in. So now I'm going to work him to the back, small one. And then as he starts grabbing on, I'm going to start rotating it. And then the belt's just going to fall into place. So it popped off on the front there because I released the tension. I gotta get my arm up in the front there. This one's a little bit easier because I actually can get two hands in here, one in the front, and then work it into the back. So let's get him in place. All right, so now let's get my tweezers and get in and feed him to the, oh no, fell off again. Son of a bitch. Let's go. There you go, buddy. Work with me, buddy. Come on, buddy. There we go. He's on the front, so now we're going to work our way to the back and start wrapping it around. Once I can get it connected, I'll move my arm out of the way so we can kind of follow it together. So let's just, as you can see, my fingers in there. And get my plastic spudgy and okay, and I'm gonna pull it around and start turning it, and it's gonna start grabbing. There we go. There he is. I'm trying to bring you in. I know it's kind of hard to see, but trust me, he's right here. Here's the belt. Oh, there we go. Belt's right here. And I'm going to rotate it, and it's going to spin. Right here. Can we get... Would the overhead help? The overhead's just... It's not going to work. Let's turn it off. There we go. So here's the second belt right here. He's in the place, and then the first belt is over here in the back. So now what I'm going to do is just put the couple screws in the back, and I'm going to plug everything in, then we're going to power it on and see if this solved the issue. Now, there could, like I said, there could be other issues with it. I highly doubt it, but you never know. So let's just get a couple of screws tacked in. Like I said, it's common for this to happen on these types of machines. Like I said, belts do wear out. Just either being dry rotted or just being stretched out, or even times the tension on them is too tight, they break. But there was nothing wrong with the tensions on here. It was just, you know, just normal wear on these guys. So, okay. So let's spin it around here because we're going to power it up together, and you're going to see exactly what I see. So. Alright, then we make our connection so you can see what I'm doing. This gray cable here, it's just the light up on the top here. When it turns on, it'll turn green and red and amber. That's just a light feature, so it's just, it doesn't do anything. It does not control anything other than it's just saying, hey, there's lights in here, I'm flashing, I'm pretty. So, but the ribbon cable is the main guy that we have to have plugged in there because he powers everything from the front, or the power's being fed here, that transfers all to the front here. So we need that guy plugged in. So everything is plugged in. So now let's just apply the plug to the power supply. All right, and all right, standby light is on. Now what's going to happen is, let's see if you can get a good view. I'm gonna power it on, and then this light down here is going to flash a few times. The clicking is the relay, and the light is flashing green and blue. It's searching for a CD. So now I'm going to open the door. Comes to position 1, and on these units, the label faces to the right. All right, we're going to hit play. And you're going to see the light turning amber. It's spinning it over to location. These arms are now going to pull it into place, and it's going to start playing. So let me hook up my speaker. Like I said, we're not going to hear a loud sound, but you should get some. There we go. Can't play it long due to copyright, but at least you get an idea there's audio. So now let's go forward to the track. There we go. Let's go another track. All right, so that seems to solve the problem. This was a successful repair. Let's stop it. And what it's gonna do is take it out of the chamber, and it should come back to the front position as it's doing now, and the door will open. Boom, done. So yeah, this was a successful repair. And just a recap, this was a Sony 300 disc CD player, modeled CDP-CX355. It was the 300 series, and the problem was the belts. These two belts were stretched out, and they popped off of their off the gears. And like I said, it's normal wear and tear on these guys, and you got to be careful when you replace these belts. If you put a belt on there that's too tight or too small, it's going to put too much tension on that, and it's not going to spin properly. So you have to replace these with the corresponding specs. You got to match it up. You just can't throw any belt on there. So yeah, so this was a successful repair. They're going to be happy. They're going to get this back just in time for Christmas. They hold a huge Christmas party, and this was one item that they wanted back for their holiday party. So yeah, so I hope you learned something from this video. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. I'm trying to build up an audience here. Leave any comments you want, down below. And, when you hit the subscribe button, enable the bell. So anytime I put a video up, it'll notify you. So yeah, so enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.